Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's up, man?
Chilling, bro. What's happening
How
with
you
you,
doing?
man? Alhamdulillah, good, man. Can't complain. This is a nice surprise, bro. MashaAllah.
Yeah?
Yeah, look, took you a couple of years to finally get in touch, but alhamdulillah, that's great, man. You know, later better than never, right?
Alhamdulillah. I like to call you every couple of years.
That's good. Maybe one day you'll return my chocolate to me as well, inshallah.
Yo, where's my chocolate? Where's my chocolate, man?
They're with your sour grapes, bro. They're with your sour grapes.
I'm never gonna forget that. You know that, right?
Same here. Neither will I. You offered me sour grapes.
No.
You didn't want those grapes yourself. You're like, here,
You
Navaid,
had
have the sour grapes.
you had my amana. You had my chocolate, and it is gone.
That's how this works, bro. That's how this works.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So how is it there at the in the office?
In the office,
Yeah.
things are pretty chaotic without Michael Scott around. But as a new manager of Dunder Mifflin, I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Alhamdulillah. Do you do classes and stuff with this background?
Wallahi, I've been waiting to use this background. I've never found an opportunity to use it, and I was like, today's the day I'm going to use it. So it worked out
Dude,
perfect.
you really caught me off guard. Like for the
Alhamdulillah.
first second or two, I was like, wait, what? Like, what's going on?
I usually just use like the Medina background, or today I had like the Hajj lecture, so I had like the Kaaba background, but I've never got a chance to use this, bro. And it's perfect timing, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So what's up, man? How's it? How's Canada doing?
Canada cases are going up again.
Oh,
So
really?
a lot of things are up in the air. I mean, alhamdulillah, it's not as bad as the States, but like considering that our numbers were dropping and then they're going back up now. But I guess that's what summer brings, right? Everyone wants to be out and about. So I guess everyone's just worried about that. Other than that, I've been focusing a lot on my side business as of these days. So I have like
What's your side business?
just like consulting for like public
Oh,
relations and stuff.
Okay.
So
Mashallah.
because of COVID, a lot of things I shut down. I wasn't traveling as much, but I'm back to traveling within like Canada, well, within Alberta mainly. So did that.
So is it driving or is it like you get to fly as well?
You can fly, but I just prefer to drive. Like the
Yeah,
flying
of
situation is
course.
so terrible, man. Like who
Yeah.
wants to be stuck in an airplane with like someone coughing and sneezing next to you? You don't know if it's COVID or not. It's a very stressful situation.
Yeah. I feel like driving's a lot better, obviously, because you're in your own car, and then wherever you're going, you can still social distance and stuff. But when you're in a
Exactly.
plane,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. Yeah, I was asking about Canada because, like, from my perspective, like being in America, I feel like nothing can be worse. Like everywhere else in the world, like things are getting better, and America is the only place like we're doing a terrible job.
Yeah.
So
I mean, had you told any country in the world that Kanye West was running for president, they're like, you got to be kidding me. But in
yeah,
America, things like that become reality.
yeah. I don't know, man. I have like this feeling that we're gonna get another 4 years of Trump.
Oh,
I can't shake that feeling, man. It's
yeah.
like it's
But I mean, realistically, though, I don't feel confident in Biden beating him.
yeah.
And I think as long as Trump keeps riding the economic wave of like the stock market going crazy right now and setting like new highs and records, people are gonna vote him back in, bro.
Man, all we could do is make dua and go vote.
That's it, bro. What do you do when you live in a shoe? Move into a boot and get laced, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what that means either,
I
but
don't know where you got that
that's
from.
supposedly what they say.
But that sounds pretty crazy, I must tell you.
That's supposedly what they say.
I don't know where you heard that. That's good, man. It's good to see you after, a couple months, I think.
At
Month.
least, bro. No, man, more than that. I think probably around Eid, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 months at
Before
least.
Eid. Actually, this is Ramadan. It was
in Ramadan.
It was on a Al-Maghrib Zoom call.
No, bro. You remember we had like that late night conversation?
Oh, right.
Like that 3 hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has been a long time. That was after Ramadan then, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was after Ramadan.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. How are the kids? How's the family? How's everyone?
Everyone's living and
Living their best life?
not their best life, but
what does that mean, bro? Like I hear people say that all the time, like, oh, he's living his best life or she's living her best life. Like what does that mean to you?
To me, it means that nothing is going on in their lives and they don't want to say that. So they say living their best life.
I don't know. I always think like when someone says that, they just mean like they're, I don't know, doing the best with what they have, right? Or they're happy in their situation.
But realistically, like when someone says best life, it means like everything in their life is phenomenal.
Yeah,
And
true.
I just don't know how realistic that is, man.
Yeah,
Like
but it's never, yeah.
exactly.
That's
Like there's always something that's going to be like difficult or troubling or not perfect, right?
yeah,
Yeah, like
for sure.
perfection is only for Jannah, bro,
And for social media.
and for social media. And
Everything
yeah,
looks everything looks
Instagram,
amazing on social media. Everyone's life is
Instagram especially.
great.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome.
Which is
Alhamdulillah.
crazy, isn't it? Like, why do people feel the need to tell everyone that their life is perfect? Like, why do you have to tell people, give the people that impression? Like, why is that so important, subhanAllah?
Yeah, I guess maybe part of it is that people, it helps them feel better about their situation.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of it also has to do with the release of dopamine in your brain when you get likes and comments and people praise you and that
yeah, yeah,
feeling like you know like your life sucks, but it's like at least
yeah,
online I feel good
yeah.
about myself.
I had like this short-term subscription to Forbes magazine, and I remember a couple of months back they had this article on Kylie Jenner. And Kylie Jenner, she runs like this makeup company where the evaluation of the company was supposed to be over $1 billion, and she sold part of that company, which would officially make her like the youngest billionaire ever. So eventually, like one of these big firms did the math to figure out is she actually a billionaire, and it came out to that she only had $900 million as opposed to $1 billion. And then Forbes was saying that Kylie Jenner, or actually not Kylie Jenner, but the whole Kardashian PR firm or whatever they use, got in touch with Forbes to correct the error that she isn't actually a billionaire and not a 900 millionaire, because that's obviously an
Wow.
fact. And I think that for me is a clear like manifestation of what social media is like. Like you have to have this pseudo fake, unbelievably perfect life on social media.
I'm always surprised when you see someone who's a little bit older
Hmm.
do that online because I don't know, it just feels like don't you reach a point in your life where you're like, okay, this is obviously like really shallow and I'm beyond
Yeah.
that.
But you know that like that's the thing. Like growing up, you were 20, you were 20, 30, 30, 40, 40. But nowadays it's like 40 is the new 30 and 30 is the new 20 and 20 is the new 10. Like however that works, right? So we're just delaying the progression of maturity to be young for as long as we possibly can, both emotionally and physically. Do as many surgeries as you possibly can, get Botox done, and keep living your young life, even into your 80s.
Okay, so what about like this surge of like uncles and aunties on online now, like on Facebook and like even honestly, like even Instagram. So like, how do you explain that?
Again, like I think social media as a phenomenon has reached that phase where it's become mainstream, right? So you have the early adopters that picked it up very early, which was like a decade ago maybe, and now it's becoming mainstream that everyone's on it, and it's become like this way of communication that everyone uses. And I think that's just like product adaptation at its finest.
Yeah, communication, and I would even say like a form of entertainment. Like I know
Actually, let me ask you: are you on TikTok?
a'udhu billah.
So I'll take that as a yes.
That is an no, absolutely
Then
not.
absolutely not. Okay, alhamdulillah.
So look,
Alhamdulillah.
I mentioned this in my last live talk as well, but I'll say it again just so I just so there's more to you'll see. I am not on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. I will
Aywa.
never be on TikTok. And if I ever do, like, please remind me that I said I will never be on TikTok, and please shame me for doing
Can,
so.
can I write a PDF on you? Like
You can
hopefully
write a
someone.
PDF. You can you
Yeah.
can you can get this video, put it
Nice.
online, and then pause it and be like, here he clearly said, and
Yeah.
then put a video after it of TikTok. But no, man, I don't know. Like I draw the line at TikTok.
I don't know if you've been following. Like, there's like this new online culture where like during Medina time, if you got refuted, you got refuted in a PDF. But
Yeah.
now people are making memes to refute other people. Are you aware of this new
Yo,
culture?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of this, of course.
Yeah. It's pretty chaotic, man. Like it's this culture never dies, and it just keeps changing. Subhanallah. May Allah make it easy, bro. May Allah make it
I
easy.
mean, I mean. Also, there's like the video refutations now. I think that's you know
Ye-
Yeah, because
See,
there's so much.
I don't know if that's a culture or that's just like a handful of individuals that have too much time on their hands, right? But
I
I know what
mean,
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
we used to think PDFs were like a person has to have a lot of time to put together a PDF. Like imagine
Yeah. You got
gathering clips and then
exactly.
cutting them where you need to cut them and then
Yeah, yeah,
adding
yeah.
graphics and then adding another clip and saying, oh, look here, he said this, and
You
then
know
here he said
what's
this.
interesting is that you seem to have that skill set. Like everything that is required to make a video refutation, I believe you know how to do. Maybe you are one of these anonymous guys.
Allahu alam. Who knows, man? You got to make a living somehow in the COVID era.
That is true. That is true. What's
Somebody tweeted at me today. They're like some about they're like, oh, he might have an anonymous account on Twitter. And I was
Ajib.
like, wait, is that a thing? Like people have multiple accounts, like anonymous accounts?
Bro, people do everything in this day and age, man.
I actually, I mean, you know this, and I say this all the time, but I actually don't even think, public speakers should be giving out they shouldn't have like one-on-one contact with,
Oh
especially the
yeah, yeah,
opposite gender,
of course,
like private
100%,
messaging
bro.
and DMs and bro, every 6 months there's a
Scandal.
new
Yeah.
scandal, man. And what does it always go back to? DMs, um, WhatsApp, private messages, like that's what it is. And I'm like, man, like at what point, like,
Yeah.
why put yourself in that position?
Actually, let me ask you a question. So this is a genuine question. I mean this in like an inquisitive way. When someone says sliding into DMs, is that purely for like the opposite gender, or can like a guy say that to like another brother? Why'd you slide into my DMs like that? That's a genuine question for you.
You're not serious, are you?
No, I am. Is that purely
Okay,
like
before I answer this question, you know what this reminds me of?
what does it remind me of?
It reminds me of that story you once told me. The word was, oh, tight.
Tight. Yes, yes, yes. I was in Baltimore at the ICNA conference the year before the year I got accepted into Medina. The year I got accepted into Medina. And I was at the stand and, they had like the Muslim apparel. I can't even remember what the clothing company was called.
Someone comes up to you and they're like, oh, this shirt is pretty tight. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, it's actually quite loose. It'll
Yeah.
fit fine.
Bro, look, man, I wasn't raised talking that language. So I have to,
Okay.
seek out consultations from the people that know. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن
SubhanAllah.
كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That's the reality, bro.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
teach
so
me the
slide
fiqh,
into
bro.
your DMs like it's like you're basically that it's flirting with somebody or trying
Mm,
to, get their
got you, got
attention
you,
to,
got
yeah.
you, got you,
So
got you.
it's never used
It's not
for,
like a
I mean, it
friendly
could
thing.
it yeah, it's not a friend.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be used for the same gender, but that would mean something
Completely
different.
different. I got you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
got you.
So, but yeah, sliding into somebody's DMs mean they're trying to get your attention, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what that.
So if a sister comes complaining and she says Sheikh Saad slid into my DMs, that obviously wasn't like a friendly thing then.
So that would be that would categorically be a lie,
I
because
see.
I do not DM whatsoever.
Alhamdulillah.
I'd
Alhamdulillah.
be like,
That is true.
"Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin."
I can affirm that you don't even respond to messages, let alone to
There you
DMs.
go.
There you
There
go,
you
man.
go.
You have
See,
been
there's a
absolved.
reason for
You have been
that.
absolved of all blame, alhamdulillah.
There you go. People get upset at me for not replying to messages. So
Alhamdulillah.
what else going on, man?
I'm heading to Montreal in about 2 weeks, on Sunday for 2 weeks.
You really don't like Montreal, huh?
Nah, bro. Can't stand
Weren't
it.
you were born in Montreal, right?
I was born in Montreal.
Born, raised.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you're like, forget Montreal.
As someone taught me, bye, Felicia. That's it, bro. Done with it.
Man, I have a lot of good memories in Montreal.
Do you? Actually,
Well,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to say a lot,
You've been
but
there.
a
You've been there
fair
quite a few
amount.
times. True. You've been there quite a bit. You have been there quite a bit.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
brothers there, like really
Good
cool.
guys. Yeah.
I've always associated Montreal with you as well, so I tend to have a
Yeah.
positive impression of I think positive thoughts when I think of Montreal. But
Alhamdulillah.
obviously you're not
And,
there now, so.
and I think like visiting Montreal is a great place to visit, but living there is such a nightmare, bro. It was racist growing up, and then it became legislation, and the legislation is just horrendous, bro.
Bro, I was so surprised the first time I went to Montreal. I think that's my first trip to Canada was Montreal, I think. Yes, it was actually. And
Mm.
growing up in America, you always hear like Canadians are so nice, they're so
Yeah, yeah,
polite,
I
and
know.
this and that, whatever. And then like at the airport in Montreal, I'm like, yo, like everyone was so rude.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, I was like, this is obviously like propaganda, right?
yeah.
Canadians are not nice. Like, what are
Then
you
clearly
talking
they're
about?
not Canadians. Clearly they're not Canadians.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. So that was my experience my first experience in Montreal. It was like I was like really mean. Everybody's being really mean to me. I was like,
yeah.
like what is this?
And it's just messed up, man. It's like there's this culture that's very, very anti non-French, anti-immigrant, anti-religion, right? You know what I also remember is when I met you guys in Connecticut, when you drove up into Connecticut, and then we drove to New York together. Do you remember that?
I do not remember this.
No way, man. Come on, bro. This was,
Connecticut
I
to
think
New
this may,
York.
I think this was probably like your first year in Medina, I want to say.
Why do I not remember this at all?
I have no idea.
So wait, what did we
we,
do?
we had that really stupid wager where if you could finish all the Golabjamans, I'd teach you Ajrumiyyah. Do you remember that at all?
I do not remember this because I don't mess with Golabjamun. I don't mess with
Yeah,
Desi
and it
sweets.
was really oppressive. Like I actually feel bad in hindsight. I'm like, why would I do that to the guy? Because you had to eat like 6 gulab jamuns,
Yo,
and I
but that's
think
just you though, bro.
by
That's just
number
you.
four,
That's
by
just
number
that's just that's just you.
by
That
number
makes complete.
four,
You telling me now? Now I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I believe that story because that is something you
yeah.
would do.
But I think we were walking. I want to say in Queens, where like all the Desi restaurants are. Where is that? Where in New York is that? Do you remember?
Uh, it's
Jackson
called
Heights. Is that it?
Jackson Heights. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
called.
yeah. And I just remember there was like a Shah Rukh Khan like tag horror billboard. I'm like, man, where are we right now?
I have no recollection of this, and I'm
And then do you remember
really surprised.
when we were in London together, and we were sharing I think you came for Gym S, and I can't remember what I was there for. And then we picked you up from Gym S and took you to London, and then we had no way of getting to the airport.
Yeah, I remember this. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
I remember the London incident. I
yeah.
remember the London.
The
Yeah,
Fick
yeah.
of Chillin incident. The Fick of
That was the
Chilling
Fick of
incident.
Chillin incident, which
That
I'm
was the
never
Fick of
gonna forget. It's on my list of things that I will question you about on the day of judgment. I'll ask for my haq.
No worries,
So
bro. Those
that's
sour grapes you'll be
you
waiting for.
freeze me, bro. You freeze me. Like I was frozen the whole night. Bro, it was so cold. And then I wake up and
Whiskey.
you're like, that's the Fick of Chilling for you. Like, what?
Oh man, good times, man. And I just remember trying to get to the airport was so chaotic.
Yeah, yeah, we almost didn't make it, right?
And what was the thing? Like, did none of us have a credit card? I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah, I
what.
remember pulling over for like a cash machine or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. We like none of us had money, and there was no credit cards. I can't remember what it was. Yeah,
Weren't we in a cab? I remember us being in a cab or something.
yeah. And eventually we pulled over because we couldn't pay the guy.
Oh, right, right, right. Is that gonna happen again? Am I gonna
Let's
chill with you in London again?
inshallah. Let's do it, bro. Let's do it, man. So this is the
Yeah.
real crazy story. I don't know if I shared this one with you. It was my first and only time meeting in California. So I was like, we got to go somewhere nice. So I looked up this steakhouse and I'm like, let's go here. I go there, and this was when Mohammed bin Salman was coming to tour the United States. So he was staying at that hotel but arriving tomorrow, but his entourage had already arrived. And they refused to be cooked for by anyone other than Wolfgang Puck. So
Wow.
Wolfgang Puck was there himself cooking all of our food that night. And he was,
Wow.
nice enough to come out to the table, introduce himself, and allow us to take pictures. And he took me back to the kitchen and showed us all the different cuts of steak he had and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
some fine dining right there, man.
That is some real fine dining, man.
So I was having this conversation with someone about how I've never had food that I've like my mind was blown by. Like I'm like, oh, this is the most amazing. Like I've had good food, right? And people are like, well, you're not a foodie, you don't enjoy food. I enjoy food. I like food.
Yeah.
I've been to like nice places, expensive places, but I've never had food that really like I was like, wow, that was just amazing. Is it just I haven't
Yeah.
been to like a nice enough place, or I'm just
So there's two things that come or it's actually, let's say, four things. Two of them are extremely important, and the other two are not as important.
bro? You sound like you're about to give muhadara, man. You're about to
That's
give a
it, bro.
lecture.
So you
Four
need to have
points.
quality ingredients, and you have to have a good chef. Then you have to make the presentation nice, and you have to have a good ambiance. That is what it takes to have a good quality experience over food.
So I've been to places like that. And don't get me wrong, like the food was I've enjoyed food, right? But
Yeah.
I've never had food. And I'm not even talking about like, okay, so the fancy places, that's one thing, right? I've been there, I've done that. But even
Yeah.
like, this hole in the wall thing, which is like the most amazing like chicken sandwich in the world, whatever. And I've had it, I'm like, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it. But like I feel like people overpraise food like way too much. Like I don't understand it. It
So,
never like.
like, do you create reference points for food? So, for example, when I have steak now, almost all those reference points go back to this Wolfgang Puck incident. Is it as good as that? Right. So that's when you know you've had something good, that it becomes a reference point that you compare other things to.
So okay, I get that, right? You compare one thing to another, and compared to that, it was good. But I don't have something which is all the way up there that I'd say like, oh, something tops this, then it would be amazing. Because I never thought any type of food was amazing, right? Like I thought it was like if I was putting it on a scale, I've never had something which is better than like 8 out of 10, which is good, but it's not like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like that's just.
Then I think me and you need to hang out more. I think me and you
Bro,
need
I've been to some, like you've taken me to some of these places, and like don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. Jazakallah khair, by the way.
No, I don't think I think our reference point is like Xinjiang in Medina. That was
No,
like
no, get out of it, man. I'm not talking about that, dude. Like even like dessert,
or
right?
even
Like,
better, Wadi Mubarak. I know how much
Wadi
you loved
Mubarak.
Wadi Mubarak.
Bro, that's my favorite place to not go.
You hated that place, bro.
But I just don't like Saudi food, to be honest. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Like,
And
well,
then
okay,
there was
once again, let me clarify. I don't dislike it, but I'm not like, I don't particularly enjoy it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too simple when it comes to food. Like I enjoy food, but honestly, like give me like some nice pizza, right? Honestly, like Pizza Hut, like I'm okay with Pizza Hut.
Yeah, yeah.
Hand tossed cheese pizza, I'm good. Like that, I'll
And
enjoy
that's
myself.
fine. Like no one's saying to be a food snob, but also like from the enjoyments of the dunya is good food, right?
No, I know, I agree, and I'm trying
And
to
that's the thing.
enjoy it. I'm trying to
Like
find it, but I'm like, why don't I feel that enjoyment? Like at least
uh,
to that level.
yeah, you need to have someone build up the excitement and then have that excitement delivered on.
It, I mean, I'll try. I've tried every, like whenever somebody says like, oh, the most amazing, I'm like, listen, you need to calm down because I've heard that so
Yeah,
many times.
most people don't know what they're talking about, right? You can even tie this into like colognes and fragrances, right? They're like, if someone tells you that, hey, Polo Sport is amazing, yeah, maybe in the world Polo Sport is
Yo, why are you
amazing,
hating on Polo Sport,
but you
man?
can't say that's the epitome of all fragrances, right?
I don't know, man. I guess it's relative to me. Like I just feel like it's relative, right?
True.
Like for
That is very true.
somebody, like they may enjoy something to like you know, and
Yeah,
aren't our tastes like different,
they are true.
right? So someone like
But
actually, well, I will never be able to know how something tasted to you.
that's
You will
true.
never
You
be able
won't
to
be
know
able
how
to
something
know.
tasted to me.
You won't be able to know how something 100% tasted to me, but you
Yeah,
can have a similar appreciation. Just
yeah.
like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but there are certain things that are pretty objective as well. That maybe not all people will agree upon, but a lot of people will agree upon.
I agree. I agree. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, man. It's good to talk to you.
Well, yeah, likewise, man. Always a pleasure,
Uh,
bro.
I can hear my kids. They were out, so I can hear them coming back in, and there's about to be a
Aywa.
storm coming through right now.
Bismillah. Please give my love and salams to everyone, inshallah.
I will. I will. Likewise, you as well.
We'll do, inshallah.
And inshallah ta'ala, I will talk to you in 4 months.
Sounds good, bro. Sounds like a plan,
All
inshallah.
right, man. Take care, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
You,
wa barakatuh.
you too, man. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.